person who I've been asked to cover a handful of times, and I've just never found the time to, never found the want to. But apparently, 2020 alarmism is as good a reason as any to engage in some dialectic with a pre-recorded video, especially if it is from Glenn Beck. So, what is he going on about? Well, the title of this video is How Long Until Conservative is Stamped on Your Mandated Mask? I feel as though this is basically Glenn Beck fear-mongering. I don't feel that way. That's exactly what that is. That's literally trying to say that conservatives are soon going to be like the Jews in Auschwitz. They're going to need... they're going to have their armbands that say what their religion is. Oh no, the poor conservatives. So, let's take a look at his video, see what he has to say.
The Pennsylvania mask order extends the mandate to private homes. Really? The face covering order now has to be exercised in your family home. Every individual aged 2 and older in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania shall wear a face covering when indoors or in an enclosed space where another person or persons who are not members of the individual's household are present at the same space, irrespective of physical distance. So that person could be in the other wing, Master Bruce. And if they're in the house, Master Bruce, who's closeted himself up in his dad's bedroom thinking weird thoughts about his mom's pearl necklace, he's got...
That's really graphic.
Gotta be wearing a mask?
Yes. Okay, so let's go into this. So I actually have an article up about this. So this is from the Associated Press going over this. Pennsylvania is strengthening its mask mandate and will require out-of-state travelers to test negative for the coronavirus before arrival. Health officials announced Tuesday taking additional steps to address a sharp increase in infections and hospitalizations. So there's actually a material condition being met already. They have sharp upticks right now. There's a material condition. This is a response to it. So let's talk about the mask mandates in your own home. Let's see what this is like. Masks are now required indoors whenever people from different households are gathered. So Bruce would not have to wear a mask in his own household if just him and Alfred Pennyworth and Robin are there, because they are all from the same household. So first of all, mischaracterizations from Glenn Beck, of course. That is not how things work. If it's just your household, you'll still be fine. It is when people of other households are gathered. Secondly, so we have even if they're physically distant, the State of Health Secretary said Tuesday the order applies to every indoor facility, including private homes. This is consistent with what Glenn Beck has freaked out about so far. But, here's a but. Here's some context. Some important context for you. As is always the case, always there's context. So, what is the context here? Levin acknowledged that officials are relying on voluntary compliance rather than on enforcement. What does that mean? That means that the mask mandate is still, yes, it is still a thing to do in your own home, but nobody's going to do anything. Nobody's going to do anything if you don't have a mask on in your own home, specifically when people are gathered, which means it's only when you've got company over. Nobody's going to do anything. Not a single person's going to do shit. Because it's literally just going, hey, could you, when you are coming into my house, please respect my house and put on a mask just in case you're in the incubation period and we have no way of knowing if you have COVID. That's reasonable. That's just extending shit that is already reasonable out in public to in your house. And if somebody's going to put the argument, oh well, people are responsible enough on their own, they don't need mandates for shit like this. No, I live in Georgia, and nobody was until mask mandates were a thing in grocery stores. Nobody was fucking wearing them, and our numbers kept on going up and up and up and up and up until they became mandated by the individual grocers. So don't come at me with this, oh, everything needs to be it's personal responsibility. And no, I do not, and I have learned over the years not to give other human beings that much credit. But again, even so. Now, if this were something that were forced, if they were saying, hey, force mask mandates, and if you don't comply, there's going to be a fine or something like that, then I'd have an issue with it. If there was an actual punishment mechanism here for the mask mandate in the own home. But that doesn't seem to be the case based on what I'm reading here. It seems to be more that they're trying to point out, hey, can you, as an individual, when you're in your own home, have your Thanksgiving, but please do it safely? That seems to be what I'm reading here. But what else does Glenn Beck have to say about this? Because I am curious what else he would say in this situation. So let's see.
It's insanity. It's absolute insanity.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Glenn Beck conspiracy theories are doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result. So at least he's not insane, but...
America, wake up and stand up. The only thing that will unite us is truth, justice, and the American way.
The only thing that can unite us are an ill-defined philosophical concept, an ineffective system of punishment that we are still trying to figure the fuck out, and a vague platitude. My name is conservative talk show host Glenn Beck, and when I tell people what the country needs, I can only speak in vague notions and not in specifics, because if I were to actually talk about real solutions, then people would realize that I, much like a religious prophet, am full of bullshit.
Wear a mask. It's going to protect you. Did you see?
No. It is. I'm going to have to bludgeon myself. How many fucking times? How many times do we have to say it? The mask is not for your individual protection. It is to prevent other people from getting infected because the virus transfers from water droplets. How many times? How many times do we have to explain this basic shit? There comes a point where you have to accept that you are not trying to convince somebody of a truthful concept anymore. You are trying to argue against an agenda that cares not for truth, but is willing to use the vague platitude of truth, insofar as it can even be defined, as a rallying point because everybody thinks they know what truth is. I like Apologia's definition of truth. I think it's functional here. And it shows that Glenn Beck doesn't give a shit about truth, if we were to use this working definition. Truth is that which comports with reality as adjudicated by predictive power. We have models, predictive models, that show that droplets are 3 microns, about, or more, and that's what the virus has to sit on. This mask can stop things of about 2.5 microns and higher. The water droplets don't get through the mask. It's not a perfect thing. It is not a catch-all system, but it is helpful. It's like a condom. You don't go, well, a condom's only 99% effective, so I'm not going to use a condom the first time that I'm having sex with this person that I may not even want to have a child with. No, you wear the condom because it is 99% effective. There is a chance of failure, just like there's a chance of failure with the mask. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen every time. It is about being safer, not thinking in binaries where it is either safe or unsafe. Because this thinking in binaries where it's either safe or unsafe is what makes it to where conservatives can go, hey, why not just abstinence? Because binaries, thinking in binaries, it's the same thing with the mask. It is not either safe or unsafe. There are degrees of safety.
Did you see the study came out yesterday? Not so much.
Which study that came out yesterday? Because I remember reading that there was a study that showed that the masks are not as effective as originally thought in certain cases, but that doesn't suddenly mean you shouldn't use them. Especially since the masks themselves, study after study, have been shown to stop water droplets. Does he link the study? Is that a thing? Is there a source here? Now, granted, I do a live show now, so I don't have sources here as often as I should. But I don't see that here. I don't see that study linked there. I wonder here. Study on mask efficacy. Let's see here. Is this one? This is 6 days ago. Is this close enough? Observational evidence studies that mask wearing mitigates transition of severe acute respiratory SARS. It is uncertain if this observed association arises through protection of uninfected wearers, protective effect, via reduced transmission from infected mask wearer source control, or both. Wait, so you're telling me that you're going to say that the masks are not effective, but this is 6 days ago. This is a recent thing. And it says in there, in the abstract, it is effective, but we do not know if it is effective because of protective effect or source control yet. We are still trying to figure that out. But the concession that it is effective is already there. Glenn, can you please point that out? That'd be cool.
Well, it'll protect others.
Oh, so they do understand. They do understand.
Surround yourself with people you love. Love and friendship can be deadly. I mean, if you have to be in a room with any loved one, make sure you stay far away from them. Don't share the comfort of physical contact. I know that's lacking in your life, but that's a good thing. Any human warmth or exposure is illegal because it's a threat to a safe society.
Oh my god, it's just fucking fear-mongering. Nobody said you can't hug your goddamn grandpa. It's please be safe when doing so. This is just fear-mongering. This is useless fucking fear-mongering.
Human contact. It's not the only enemy, no. Even expression of gratitude and love can doom mankind. So when in the presence of other human beings, please cover your face so you won't reveal emotions or ideas or be able to...
Nobody is saying you have to cover your face because you won't be able to see emotions. What?
Communicate with your face. You just have to be masked up for comfort and happiness. You have to fear the people you've always trusted.
What the fuck is he reading
Even if they
from
don't
anyway?
mean to, they're probably killing you. Here's the thing. The left doesn't want you to see who you are.
Oh, he's reading his own script.
They don't want you to see it. They don't want others to see who you are. They don't want you to recognize your infinite and God-given potential and rights.
You are reading really, really hard into this, Glenn. What the fuck? Can I please get 500 milligrams of whatever the fuck Glenn is taking? Please. Please, I need it. Because whatever that is, whatever the fuck he's taking, puts you into a reality that is so much more interesting than this one. What was it, the Harry Styles conversation we had when talking about the Logan Paul video? How fragile this type of behavior is, the victim mentality required for it. Holy crap, this is all just, woe is me. The world is ending because I have to wear a thing of cloth every once in a while. This is a thing of cloth I have to wear every once in a while. Do you honestly think I sleep in this? This is for the fucking camera. I don't get it. I don't understand. Why would somebody want to be so oppressed? Why would somebody want to be such a victim? Why would somebody want to live in a fabricated reality where everything is bad and everything is against them? Why would somebody desperately need this kind of belief? I don't understand.
The statists are demanding that we all wear masks. And not just a cloth mask or bandanas or scarves. No, no, no. No. The cloth masks and mandates are just a test to see how compliant you'll be when you're told.
Oh my god, it's just the fucking Muslim conspiracy. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's I've heard this shit from so many fucking conservative speakers so far, where they freak out about the masks and go, did you know, the masks are actually the first step on the way to making you wear hijab, and hijab is the first step to making you wear your burqa. You're gonna be in a trash bag by the end of 2021. You will have wanted it. You goddamn liberals. This shit. That's all this is. That's all this is.
To wear other masks that you're now having to wear. You see, statists demand that you submit to be part of a group.
Also, Philippe, hijab, men have hijab as well in Islam. Hijab is just the code of uniform. What they have to wear as hijab is different than women, but it's still hijab.
Part of the collective. And they're
also Star Raptor in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and point this out here. Anybody arguing that this is a first step is engaging in the slippery slope fallacy. Glenn Beck here is engaging in the slippery slope fallacy. If you think that a thing to protect you is a slippery slope into controlling your entire life or whatever the fuck type of victim shit you have to cope with the fact that reality isn't as interesting as you want it to be, I'm sorry. It is not a slippery slope into fascism to wear a goddamn mask.
They're going to decide what groups and classifications are. They'll tell you what masks you're required to wear. You voted for Biden. You voted for Trump. You're a Democrat. You're a Republican. You're a one-percenter. You're a worker. You're a laborer.
Oh, no. Now it's anti-communist shit. He's going hard into the anti-left thing now. You're a one-percenter. You're part of the proletariat. Class is bad to talk about, guys. Don't talk about class. What's Glenn Beck's fucking worth? Hold on. I'm curious here. Hold on. So we're gonna look Glenn Beck net worth. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, that is so awkward. Imagine my surprise. Imagine my surprise that someone would go hard talking against class interests, against understanding class conflict. Imagine my surprise when somebody arguing against egalitarian Marxist principles is making $20 million a year. Imagine my shock. Imagine my absolute shock when someone goes, no, they're going to divide you. They're going to say, they're going to otherize us by calling us the 1%, and they're going to segment you by saying you're the workers. Glenn Beck, Glenn. Maybe your glass house is comfortable enough for you not to have to chuck rocks out of it. The poor fucking victim mentality conservative shit that Glenn Beck spews. And yet, dude could retire and live comfortably for the rest of his life without having to worry a thing. But no. He has to be a victim. He desperately needs it. It is so shocking. So shocking.
You're a unionist. You're a transsexual. You're homophobic. You're a revolutionary. A conservative. You have white privilege. You're a racist. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, but some masks have messages on them. Vote. MAGA. Biden. Antifa. Save the dolphins.
Like regular clothing does, you nuts. Fucking masks have messages. Graphic tees are the devil. Jesus fucking Christ.
How long before our Marxist overlords will require the mask you wear to carry an image of something that they want others to identify?
Our Marxist overlord. Can you name a single fucking Marxist who has enough power in the United States to do any of this shit? An actual Marxist, not a Democrat. An actual Marxist who has a decent bit of power. You might be able to name one, maybe two, if you're lucky. And you might have to look really hard to find them. But I'm sorry, you're Democrats. Democrats are liberals. Liberals are not Marxist. Liberals work within a capitalist establishment. Marxists try to work from without. They try. They don't want a capitalist establishment. And yet, Glenn here, desperately needing to find an enemy, desperately needing to find a way to be against his fellow man, is angry at a straw man created boogeyman. You're right. You're right in the chat. These are the people who try to call Biden a socialist. Fucking, I don't think Biden's ever advocated for the abolition of CEOs and for workers to own the means of production. Has he? Because if he has, I'll go ahead and say, yeah, no, yeah, socialist, sure, why not? Fucking no. This is I don't know how to feel, other than embarrassed that Glenn Beck speaks words and shares a race with me. He is a human being, as am I, which means there is a potential world where I was a Glenn Beck, or I could have become one. And that is terrifying. The idea that was a possibility is horrifying to me.
Identify you as vaccinated, immune, conservative, liberal, Catholic, atheist, bigot, Jew.
Again, if this was a thing that was going to happen, if the idea that a mask having graphic anything on it was a first step to the fucking armbands from the Holocaust, then all clothing that has graphics on it at all, from jackets to pants with fucking ironed on patches to shirts that have graphics on them, all of that would have been a first step towards this, which means it is benign as shit. It means nothing. But again, he has to have a boogeyman. He needs it.
The left is demanding that we wear masks because it dehumanizes us.
No. We want you to wear a mask because it protects others and we value your life. Because you're human. It is humanizing you that is why people like me want you to survive. Want your loved ones to survive. No, I have to. I have no choice. I need ample amounts of physical pain to cope with this. Just pulling that twice. Ow, that hurt a lot. That hurt a lot. And it's still not enough. It is still not enough to make up for the fact that I had to listen to those things with my functional human ears. With my functional human ears. I wish they didn't. I would like my eardrums gouged out now, please. Temporarily. I'd like to listen to music afterwards, but for the time being, I would at least live in a reality that didn't involve the dumb shit Glenn Beck said. I guess there's closed captions. I guess you have to gouge out my eyes, too. This is starting to seem like a really unappealing reality, all things considered. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have to think about any of that if I could do what Glenn does and live in a fantasy realm. Live in a world where everyone hates me because I'm a conservative. Now, granted, there are people who hate you because you're a conservative. There are people who hate you because of the opinions you have that are entailed by being conservative. These people do exist. You're right. Congratulations, you got your boogeyman. Maybe fight them. Maybe be upset about them instead of these randomly fabricated ones that you have. You have actual enemies you can talk about.
That's the intention, to ascend to our place in God's kingdom. And I will not comply. If you ask me nicely, I will do it. But I'll do it because I have common sense.
Wait. So you admit wearing a mask is common sense. But the mere act of somebody telling everyone, not you specifically, telling everyone, because there are people who don't have that common sense, to do this thing that protects them or protects others. It's like a seatbelt law at the end of the day. Because of that, now you're going to go, no, I want my freedoms. Nah. You already have your freedoms, dude. Having a seatbelt law does not suddenly mean you're not free. You're still free. You can drive your car wherever the fuck you want. But if you get in a crash, that seatbelt is going to be one of the barriers. Now remember, don't think in binaries. It is one of the barriers to trying to protect you. One of them. And it's a very useful one at that. Every single time there is something new that upsets their world, you should be... They are mad at that thing that upset the status quo, instead of being upset at the actual material condition that caused this. Why... Now, for mask mandates, who should you be upset at? Should you be upset at the government for mandating masks? Or should you be upset at the uneducated idiots who create an environment where the only choice is to mandate a mask? Which should you be upset about? The person who may not have wanted to impose that, but ended up needing to because, quite frankly, masks are not part of American culture. Because taking care of your fellow man is not part of American culture. I have mine and you have yours is American culture. That property right thing is literally like what our gun culture is based on. I have mine, you have yours, I'll protect my own. We are a hyper-individualistic society. We are not as communal a society as we need to be to function properly in situations like a pandemic. Who should you be more upset about? Should you be more upset about the idiots who create the material conditions where we have to do stuff like this? Or should you be upset at the people who are going, no, people are dying, we need to try to do something about the people who are dying? Who should you be upset at? Me personally, I'm upset at the dipshits that created a society that led to this. Not just the individual people who, I'm not going to wear my mask, it's not real at all. I'm also upset at the people who raised those people to be such individualistic idiots. I'm upset at them. I was in GameStop getting Christmas presents. This was, a week ago? I was in the GameStop, and an older gentleman comes in. Dude's got to be like 65, 70. comes in, and you know that he's not shopping for himself more than likely at that age. He's shopping for somebody else. He's trying to get something for his grandkid. And he's told, because he came in without a mask, hey, do you have a mask? No? Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to leave because you need a mask to come in. And he goes on this conspiracy field just rage raid. Don't you know it's all not real? None of it's real. None of it's real. What are you talking about? I understand your need to live in a fantasy, sir, but Alex Jones is not telling you the truth. Get out of the GameStop. Do not, in your quest to make sure that your son is taken care of, your grandson is taken care of, end up infecting other people here, because with that mentality, if you even get infected, you are the type of person to sneeze on my fucking food. I'm sorry. I am more upset at that person. I am more upset at the people like that person. I am not as upset at the abstract rule that got us here. I can be upset at it, sure. I can LARP libertarian real quick and, oh God, you destroyed my freedom. Okay, yeah, well, look. Your freedom to sneeze kind of ended at my fucking face, and the mask helps with that. So, much like with keeping on your pants, so nobody has to see your yellow encrusted dick, please wear a mask right now as we are in the middle of a pandemic. The pandemic is temporary. Pandemics can be dealt with. They can be stopped. We can manage them. Please be part of the solution to managing them instead of being part of the problem. I don't understand. Also, the old man is crazy and the employee is not a snitch. The employee literally told him to leave the store. That's not a snitch thing. If you've ever been in a GameStop, GameStops are one-room establishments. That's not snitching. That's literally just protection. Fuck off, fuck out. Anyway, I don't know if there's any... Is there anything else in this video that I need to be aware of? It's literally just grandstanding and posturing over a boogeyman of the left that's going to turn everything into hijabi territory, apparently. Just... Ugh. Anyways, if this type of masochistic nonsense is something that you want to see more of, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please check Patreon if you want to support me going through this absolute self-mutilative torture of the brain. But I think that is enough for me of this particular video. I don't think there's going to be anything more of worth in the second half that was not already covered in the first half. If there is, let me know in the comment section below. And maybe I'll do a part 2.